Okay, first of all, I would like to pay homage to the Triple James. Good evening, and dear all audiences and viewers. For those who are following and watching us from this Facebook Live and also YouTube Live right now. So um, I am Pra Sontavi Intasaro, who are going to be the moderator for this Monkchat Facebook Live that going to leading you uh, to get to know more about Buddhism and have a Dhamma talk and Dhamma discussion with my partner and every day on Wednesday. So we have an appointment here. So I will introduce my guest speaker today. Good afternoon, Venerable Vara Panyo, who is my like a Dharma friend who voluntary on be with me on this Monkchat to share his knowledge and experience about the Buddhism and meditation practice. So once again, if you consider that it is useful and good to distribute spreading the Dhamma, you can like and share this Facebook Live to your community and your friends. So first of all, let me acknowledge to all viewers, good evening to Malika, Andrew, Pichat, and many people, Mr. Kiat, from Singapore, Miss Serinda. Very thanks to all viewers and people who are following us right now. And also let me greet to different people, different time zone. So first, I am here with Venerable Vara Panyo. Some of you have known him, that he is American Buddhist monk. He have ordained, already several years in a monastery, and also he is living in Myanmar. That you already have known and have seen that, the situation is not quite well. So that's why before we get started to different question concerned to the meditation practice, I would like to have a short discussion with him about the situation in Myanmar. So some of you might worry, about Buddhist monk, how do they live, and the situation of the coup has effect to the monk's life or not. So Pante, Venerable, would you please meet our viewers and yes, greet them together? Yes.
One and welcome. Oh, hello everyone, and welcome
Yes.
to the Monkchat. So I am Bante Warapanyo, and here from Myanmar, we have a recent situation, a change in government dynamics, political situation, changing the national situation, global situation with this change of government.
Yes.
Very surprising to everyone here. So in this time, my daily life, the daily life of most people, hasn't been drastically affected outside of some internet outages. And certainly right now, it's not certain what will happen moving forward, but right now everything is okay here. And it's a good example of being aware of these situations, the political situations, difficulties that happen around us, But the role of a monk is to continue emphasizing compassion, calmness, present moment awareness. And so, while it certainly isn't appropriate in Myanmar for Burmese monks to be speaking out politically, we can advise, we can talk about how we should continue to have a mind of compassion, of mindfulness, awareness, and doing our best to stay calm, whatever it is that we do, and to do our best at these difficult times. So it's uncertain what exactly will be happening in the near future, but it's nothing too serious going on in terms of my daily life or the life of most Buddhist monks here in Myanmar as of yet.
Yes. Okay. Uh, as Venerable Varapanyo have said that the most important thing, is come back to observe our own mind, not to let our self to look down in particular part, which is will leading us to have a hatred to people, and that's cause toxic mind. So that's why stay in the present moment, aware of the natural truth, the higher truth, that what Buddha have taught about the impermanence. So today, what I have posted and published to all audiences know that this will concern to the question and also the some talk about the Buddhism. So that's why you can also participate to this Facebook Live. Okay, you can write down the comments below, and we also have one session to answer your question. So please participate our Facebook Live together. Okay. So first of all, I also would like to ask Venerable Varapanyo, okay, who also very intensive into the meditation practice, like strictly in this path, in order to gain as much as he can during his stay in Myanmar for only a few years, but he also have gained a lot of experience with different master. So I would like to hear from you, to share something about your meditation practice, that how is the intensively practicing meditations like, which is not only experience few days, just taste some of the feeling pain of your physical and feel uncomfortable of your mind only, but deeper the meditation. Yes. So this is sharing to the people.
Mm.
Yes.
So when we get into more intensive meditation practices, what I've found in my experiences is that there can be a lot of difficulty that comes up. And so when we practice meditation intensively, oftentimes it's not characterized, it's not really defined by the uh, open awareness or the deep states of peace, but actually the difficulty. So when I've done intensive meditation retreats, experiencing very intimately that suffering, that first noble truth, that there is suffering, and experiencing that firsthand. Oftentimes that can break down the preconceptions or the ideas we have about ourselves, about other people, about the world. We think the world and we think ourselves, ourself, is a certain kind of way that we imagine. And then when we get into intensive meditation practices, we find that there's quite a different kind of experience that goes along with really turning towards our moment to moment life, really stepping into the shoes of our life moment to moment. And sometimes there are experiences of peace, kindness that arise, of calm that we're able to sustain in our meditation, or resiliency, the ability to feel pleasurable experiences and feel painful experiences, but just to keep practicing, just to keep present awareness, not getting dragged around by the pleasure or the pain of it. But your experience will vary. Each person is going to have quite a different experience when they get into intensive meditation practice. And it can take many forms.
Yes. So, what is the main key to get through your long meditation retreat? Some say that difficulty has been a lot for me, and I'm just starting out. It's get hard someday. So, in your experience, what is the main key to nourish your mind, keep move in going on, even it's difficult and hard?
Yeah, so when we first get into the practice of meditation, it's not necessary that we do intensive meditation practices. It's not necessary that we sit for an hour when we wake up and we sit for an hour when we go to sleep. That may
Okay.
not be beneficial. Just
Mm-hmm.
because you're sitting still, focusing on your breath, that may or may not be beneficial for you. It's really about the quality of our mind and how we're approaching life moment to moment. So that 1 hour, we may have some degree of attention, some degree of concentration and peace. But for the rest of the day, what kind of mind do we keep? What do we come back to? Do we come back to that constantly thinking mind, or do we come back to our meditative awareness, our attention, our mindfulness of breathing? So especially at the beginning, it's to make a habit, to make this a way of thinking, a way of being, a way of living, not necessarily just an activity that's separate from the rest of your life.
Okay.
Keeping it
So
very simple and as an exercise that, so for physical exercise, we kind of have that exercise period and then but for meditation, it's wonderful if we have that period of formal practice where we're just sitting, we're just being with ourselves.
yes.
That can be really lovely, but actually extending that practice into our lives, into all the activities of our lives, eating, sleeping, drinking, using the restroom, etc., bringing that quality of mindfulness is very important in developing that practice.
Yes. And one thing that our meditation master always um, guide us, that we have to require this is consistency, or continuously practicing. So how this look like and support and assist the meditators to get better and better mental experience. Mhm. Yeah. So how this affect to our meditation practice, if we able to, or our master, uh, always guide us to please keep observe consistently
Mm,
and continuously. Mhm.
right. So we can't kind of uh, buy our meditation. So we practice meditation for 1 hour, we feel good, we feel strong, but then for the rest of the day, we're not mindful. We're not practicing awareness. We're not practicing loving kindness. So moment to moment throughout your day, throughout your life, maintaining this way of coming back to the present, relying on the breath, relying on the body, our open awareness, moment to moment, not relying on that thinking mind, or what we would call delusion in Buddhist thinking or Buddhist perspective. And delusion here is more of a non-practical thinking, negative thinking, non-practical thinking. So we have, as human beings, we have a tendency to rely on this non-practical thinking, this negative thinking oftentimes, or non-practical. And so when we do that, we're not continuing to come back into the present moment. And so even though we meditated for 1 hour early in the morning, or even though we meditated for 10 days at a meditation retreat, and now we're enlightened, we're still in the present moment. We can't, take out our enlightenment card. I got this enlightenment card at a 10-day retreat, so everything's fine. Don't bother me. It doesn't work like that. Every day, every hour, every minute, every second, every moment, coming back to the present, and that's where we find this consistency. And when you do make your practice more and more consistent and regular, you can find that resiliency and that wholeheartedness of your awareness, you're able to embody it. You're really able to live that way. And so for beginners, rather than burning themselves out, kind of getting a bad taste in their mouth about meditation by trying to force themselves to sit for long periods, it's better to get a general, wholehearted understanding of mindfulness, of being in the present, of changing how we exist in the world, moment to moment, how we deal with our lives.
Right. So I also were guided, by the master that consistency is so important when we want to keep maintaining our awareness and power of concentration during we practicing meditation. All activities, bodily movement, all single minute that you doing things in your daily basis, we also concentrate an awareness to that in order to continuous practicing in daily life. So that's why some of them, when you put this effort to your meditation practice, so some people get some mental experience. Yes. So how is that work when you put an effort to keep concentrate continuously, and after a while some people get mental experience. Some have seen Buddha images, sit in front of them, or clear clear sphere, or whatever, this kind of what we call, is it the, what's that, mental phenomena?
Mental.
So how
Right.
so
Yes,
can
mental
you tell
phenomena.
about this to some practitioner?
Yes. So this is an interesting point, and it really connects to maybe some of the difference between a Western philosophical approach or a self-natured approach versus the Buddhist or the non-self approach, the meditative approach, moment to moment, mindfulness, loving kindness, etc. So whether from a meditator's point of view, from a Buddhist meditator's point of view, whether you see the devil or you see God or you see the Buddha, they're impermanent. This is our understanding. There's a quality of impermanence. So whatever it is that arises, whatever it is that you notice, you are aware of it, you experience it, and that's fine. If it's real for you, if you're enlightened now, wonderful. That's great. But the meditative approach is to continue coming back to the breath, back to the present moment, back to simplicity, this kind of embodied experience, trying to do good, uh, trying to avoid unskillfulness. So you can have in the back of your mind all the time that you've met face to face with the Buddha and you are fully enlightened. Wonderful. But we come back to the present moment, to breathing, to having a body, to this kind of direct experience that there are mental phenomena, there are things that we see, things that we hear, etc., especially when we get into intensive meditation practice. These kinds of things happen. But we're not devoting ourselves to phenomena. We're not devoting ourselves to some big idea or some big way of dressing or thinking, actually. We're stepping into the present moment again and again and again. That's how we practice meditation. So in Buddhist meditation, there's not any really, sometimes we will contemplate death, contemplate the body, contemplate even a good experience or a bad experience, but that contemplation is more of a looking, more of a wondering, not a grasping at or a trying to keep, trying to understand. It's more a curiosity, a wondering, a deep wandering in regards to a certain topic or a certain experience. What we would say that we do kind of work with, or I had this experience of loving kindness, for example. I had this experience of metta. Okay, keep working on it, keep bringing it up. So I oftentimes say that in Buddhism, metta is kind of our esoteric side in some case, our magical kind of practice that we really work, or that we should work as Buddhists to cultivate this energy of metta, which is patience, kindness, compassion, generosity, a calmness, a carefulness with other people. So generating this metta, yes, but for special experiences and all these kinds of things, it can be helpful, it can be harmful. Sometimes we have very good feelings and good experiences. Sometimes we have very negative experiences and feelings. So we're aware of them and we continue. Just in the same way that when we practice meditation, or in general, sometimes we feel very bored. Oh, my life is so boring. There's nothing exciting. There's nothing exciting going on. We continue being mindful. We continue being aware. So it's very strange to say it, but it's true from a Buddhist perspective. Seeing the Buddha, seeing the devil, and boredom, we're approaching them in a similar way, actually. So boredom, in many cases, may be as important as seeing the devil or seeing Buddha. Yeah, you're seeing the Buddha and you're also seeing boredom. Focusing on the seeing itself, the awareness itself, not the content, always.
Yes, so very interesting that you have mentioned to some mental experiencing, especially feeling of boring. Some ask, okay, after we are aware of all the feeling that's arise, like, don't like, pleasure and pleasure, some say it's mean that you don't enjoy anything that you haven't experienced in your life, or they said it's what you also said, that is don't have feel like a is not liveliness. So how do you explain to the people that why we don't have to like accept to all the feelings, that only see them, and how this going to benefit to develop your awareness?
Well, in meditation, we're kind of moving through or moving past our traditional ideas of excitement and pleasure as liveliness or
Yes.
even terror or anxiety,
Mhm.
and we're moving into more of an awareness of whatever to be there. And so we're always stepping into our body. We're always stepping into the present moment. And in that sense, it's very engaged. It's very alive. It's interesting. But at the beginning, when we're doing that, we may find that there's a lack of excitement. And we characterize that. Uh, so in Buddhism, we would say that perhaps rather than seeking pleasure, or running away from pain and negativity, we're kind of we're we're being with peace, calmness. So we're aware of a boredom, and then we continue being aware, not focusing on the boredom. This way, that awareness can apply to anything. It can apply to very exciting, uh, pleasant or unpleasant situations and things in relationships. It can apply to everything. So it's not a rejection of pleasure or a rejection of um, pain, boredom. It's more so that we're kind of tuning into what's happening at this moment, not what we want or what we don't want, but at this moment, what's happening. And I would say that's one of the most alive places that we can go to in our lives.
Okay, so many thanks to Venerable Varapanyo to try to, clarify several questions that I have prepared to start our discussion in the first session. There are also some, question already from our viewers and audiences. An example, some sharing from Mr. Mika. He said that I'm getting back into consistency. Is slow but coming back. Okay, very nice. And also he asked a question that any advice on lonesomeness and the meditative path. Yes.
Well, as with many difficulties and sufferings, turning towards them. So in the case of loneliness, it's really taking on that responsibility to be with ourselves, to really be, to show up just in the same way that a best friend would show up or another person would show up, and to really be there for our bodies and for our mind in that lonely feeling. To be there for it, to be a friend to that lonely person who's going through that experience within yourself. It's something I deal with as well, loneliness, uh, feeling willing to reach out and to seek relationships. It's good, especially when they're Dharma relationships or spiritual friendships. And it can be very rewarding. There's a Zen saying in Zen Buddhism that when we practice meditation, we are alone together. Even if we're sitting in the same room together, we're alone together. So it's this kind of individuality that we experience that we can't share our body with anyone else. No one else is having experience of this body at this moment. It's my responsibility. It's what I'm going through, and the same is true of you.
So finally, when we um, focus on meditative path, um, we also have to visualize um, what we are doing. Like we live alone or we sitting alone, right? That you have mentioned in order to um, uh, able to acknowledge to your body and mind in this present moment, so you don't have to send out your mind to any worriness that someone gonna be with you or not, or if even you sit among many people, finally you have to feel like you're alone. Okay. So I also will have question concerned to this as well, but okay, let's move on to next question. There are also question from some people that asked beside from the meditation question. So I will leave first. Okay, I will leave that first. Um, so this question, okay, from Lin, I think Lindong Chapa. Okay, is Buddha is the god of meditation? I mean, you meditate all day and night. You empty your mind as a throat. Yeah. So how
So,
is it?
yeah, how is it? The Buddha is a human being like a philosopher who the Buddha, through meditation and through ethical living, skillful living, attained enlightenment, nibbana. And so the Buddha meditated for many, many days, many, many nights. His mind was so skillful; he was able to be in this practice of meditation for hundreds and hundreds of hours without moving. Possibly, I wasn't there, but this is my impression. And so, through that practice of showing up for himself to experience moment to moment, continuously, at one point, the Buddha realized the nature of things. The Buddha woke up from the dream of attachment, from the dream of non-practical thinking, of greed, of anger, of contraction, selflessness. Uh, but in meditation, we're not necessarily trying to empty our mind. It's not important to empty your mind. Most important is to take a deep breath, relax, feel the body, feel the present moment. Any activity that you're doing, take a deep breath, and you can practice this awareness of breathing in the present moment. And that's a kind of meditation practice. But
Right.
if you are able to meditate all day and night, empty your mind and float, that sounds like a good time, but that's not the point of Buddhism or Buddhist meditation. So we follow the Buddha as a teacher. The Buddha is our guiding teacher. He is uh, like our father, and we follow him in that way. But we don't worship the Buddha as a god. Feel very, very devoted to Buddha, and even you could see it like worshiping a god. But the Buddha in Buddhism is a human being. Maybe he's a special person, very rare person to be a Buddha for Siddhartha, to wake up, to have enlightenment and be a Buddha. Very rare person, maybe. But in all of Buddhism, he is a human being who attained for himself. And so we follow the Buddha as a human being.
I'm sorry, Varapanyo. Now our dog's barking, so I will wait them calm down. Would you please keep say something?
Um, so in that sense, we could say that uh, Buddhism is not necessarily a traditional religion in the way of Hinduism or Christianity or Islam, because what we can say is that while we do have the Buddha didn't reject God or gods, the Buddha didn't reject Hinduism. Uh, he simply said that in our practice, the focus is to develop our mind, to develop our sila, and the panya, the wisdom that comes from that. And so if there is a God or if there is a devil, focus on your mind right now. Focus on your body right now. Practice anapanasati. Practice awareness of breathing. Try to do good deeds for others and try to avoid negative actions. In that way, you're following along with the teachings of Buddha in a simplistic sense, but in a very real sense. So in that sense, you can be a Buddhist and a Christian. You can be a Buddhist and a Muslim. No problem. You can be a Buddhist and a Hindu. It's not actually a problem because the main teachings of Buddhism are more like a philosophy, a way of living. There is nothing about being a Buddhist that we have to worship the Buddha. We don't even have to believe in the Buddha. The Buddha doesn't care if you believe in him. It's not important. It's not what Buddhism is about. It's to feel that the teachings of Buddhism are very helpful, and then want to call ourselves a Buddhist, then we can do it. It's okay.
Okay. I hope that Mr. Lindong Chapa will understand more, and some viewers who are watching right now will hear together and also understand more about this. So thanks to Mika to share this.
Micah.
Micah, sorry. That yeah, I think it's need more meta someday. Thanks for advice that you already explained to him. Okay, there are another interesting question from Mr. Raji. Uh, sorry, is it right? Rajiv
Maybe
Kochumon.
Rajev.
Rajev Kochumon. How to free from any human emotions? Oh,
Bante, maybe you can answer this one, please.
in my point of view, um, how to free from any human emotions, like others, right? In this point that he mean others emotion, others people emotion that affect to your mind. Do I understand right, Pante?
Yeah, I think it sounds okay.
Okay. So in my point of view, um, when we uh, have mindfulness, that we are aware of whatever arise in uh, uh, our mind, that cause to have different feeling, which is caused from uh, worldly phenomena, or that our senses that contact to the worldly phenomena, that from other uh, you know human emotion. So we have to go back to the foundation of the meditation to uh, aware of those rising and falling of those uh, feeling. It's only happen and arise impermanent or for a while, and we don't give them a fire to cause you to form and create more hatred and anger to your mind. So we have to cut that circle of that feeling, stop from um, your, we call the sin, or the sixth door that we contact to the world. It doesn't mean we close, but we uh, use all this sensation in more wise way. Hearing. Okay, we have to aware of hearing, not allow them to form uh, in your mental that they're speaking about you, or so. I think that can help you to um, get away from any human emotions. So do I understand right or not? I will let Venerable to explain more. Yes.
I think it's good, but Rajiv, the point here is not to kill, not to kill emotions, not to fight about, I want this, I don't want that. It's to be
Okay.
aware rather than grabbing onto. Okay, so
Okay.
when we are getting rid of anger, Rajiv, we are aware of anger and not feeding it, but we're not fighting against anger. So that freedom is the freedom in any situation, emotions happening, many emotions happening, but we have acceptance of everything. We accept the emotion, we don't identify with it. So that emotion can happen, that feeling can happen, but no need to say, I. That's my emotion. No, not necessarily. It's just an emotion. And there you can find a freedom.
Okay. So we got many, many different questions from all audiences. Um, I'm sorry, and we are sorry as well that we go very slow. For those who leave a comments and question, uh, please wait. We will learn together from different question. Okay, so very interesting, most of them. So again, once again, acknowledge to all the comments and uh, question once again. Also, from a question from Lydon Chapa once again. He asked about the is it Buddhist a vegetarian? No to insects or and animals, and absolute no to human flesh like vampires. Well, in my perspective, um, and also what the Buddha have uh, set up the monastic group in order to a special way of life to focusing on this enlightened path, but also we have to live and rely on the community and the area that monk go to live. So Buddha also not really have mentioned that we have to be vegetarian, but we have to focus on uh, moderation or moderate on eating food, you know. So that's more important that we acknowledge about the value and the meaningful of eating in each meal, that um, it's for having an energy to focus on doing something good, focus on training yourself uh, to reduce and decline those greed, hatred, and delusion. Uh, so that's why we focus on eating, simplicity, whatever donors or peoples in that area offer to the monk. This is based on the lifestyle of the people in that area. Buddhism, um, settled down in Thailand with and Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, which is the country that rely on uh, like agricultural, hunting. So sometimes Buddhist monk who live in that area have to focus on um, teaching people uh, at the beginning, let them to have a good life first, maybe not to focus on let them not to kill yet, because that their lifestyle, but um, for the monk, we have to rely on what people offer. So in this question, um, what do you think, Venerable Pante
Hmm.
Panyo?
So traditionally, monks who are living very traditionally are freegan. It's a term called freegan, which means that they are receiving food without expression of preference. So in some sense, they are receiving discarded food. This would be a classification of veganism. So the Buddha, for example, would have been a vegan. He would have received food that had animal products in it, but not with any kind of expression for animal products. And so that's why one of our precepts as monks is not to kill an animal or not to encourage someone else to kill an animal. So because of this, traditionally we would be freegan in the Theravada tradition. In the Mahayana, or Buddhism as it exists in China, Vietnam, uh, and a few other countries, vegetarianism is widespread. So if you go to a temple in Vietnam or a temple in China or Taiwan, it's going to be a vegetarian temple. So traditionally, Buddhists are vegetarians or even vegans. But lay people who are just generally Buddhist are often eating meat.
Okay, so that's some reason behind that, and also we need to understand you know uh, I mean the context of the people in in each country and in each region. Mm. All right. Shall we move to the next question? There are a lot of questions, so maybe I will select the most um, concerning to our topics today about the meditation practice. There are also a lot of question beside about monk's life in general, Buddhist perspective. Many thanks as well to all those comments. Well, another question from Rajiv. Uh, how can we free from external affairs? Well, I'm sorry. I'm not really get the meaning of this. I will hand over to Venerable Varapanyo. External affair. It's mean
Well,
external part, right? Or what is that?
the body and the mind, the environment and the organism
Oh,
go
I see.
together. So
Okay.
internal and external go together. In
All right.
that sense, we can be free from external affairs by not attaching to outcome. Or if we are dead, then we will not have a body at that time when we're dead. So not having an attachment to outcome, Rajiv, is how you would be free from external affairs.
Okay. So thanks to for those who give comments and compliments in our Facebook live. Okay, and thank you to Daniel Erdmann. Okay, he said that I believe it is important to be aware of wandering mind and to return to the focus of previously placed. Thank you, Rajiv. And the question from Ken Ray: what is the metaphysics of tan,
Tantra.
tantra for you? To be honest, I never heard this word before. Tantra.
I don't know about this, Ken Ray. This is maybe not a question for Buddhist monks. I don't know about it. At least us two. Not a question for us, but maybe for someone else. I can answer for you.
Okay, if you are still here, would you please write more? What does it mean? Okay, so shall we move to
What are
next?
you talking about? Yes, what are you talking about,
Thank you.
Ken
Thank
Ray?
you. Okay. Well, this question from Samira, yes. To attain in Nibbana, what is the main direction follow on?
Mm.
Yes.
So, for a Buddhist, we follow in the Eightfold Path, but beginning with the Sila. So, Samira, if you want to really attain Nibbana, You should notice what kind of activities you are doing that may be pleasurable, but they maybe don't make you feel so good. They don't bring happiness, a power, a strength into your life. So even though this activity feels good, maybe like overeating, for example, it feels very good to eat many, many sweets at that moment. But then afterwards, you don't feel so good. So noticing those kind of activities and doing them less. Okay, less and less. Also, doing things to be helpful. So when you have a thought in your mind, oh, if I do this, it will bring benefit to someone else, or it will bring benefit to myself. Even though it is not pleasurable or it may be difficult, you do it on purpose. You practice doing it on purpose, being helpful to others, being kind to others, being gentle to others, etc. Even cleaning public toilets. If you have a positive intention to help someone, for bringing happiness into someone else's life in cleaning a public toilet, you should do it. You could become enlightened by cleaning public toilets, and I recommend you try it, Samira. So that is developing this mind of humbleness and loving kindness and skillfulness. So this is a sila. This is the main direction, the beginning direction, the foundation of all Buddhist practice. For monks, for lay people, for everyone, is this foundation of sila. Skillful living, ethical living, morality, moment to moment.
Yes. Okay, very nice. Thank you to Karian. Thank you to Rajev to explain more and give his idea that Buddhism, Hinduism is also both way of life. The Buddhist wisdom set me free from all from uh, depression. Okay, thank you for your comments. Uh, Comments and acknowledging from uh, Re Redon. Sorry, Lindong Japa. Okay, thank you for all your comments. Okay, this comment from Sumpon Nirawong Mang Sumpon Nirawong. What to do when living here? Sometimes there is boredom, lazy. It is an emotion that occurs all the time. Okay, it's also concerned a little
This
bit
is
what we have said earlier. Yes.
this a venerable Sampon?
Yes. Yes. Venerable
Oh,
living in Laos.
you you put on your best robe, you put on your nice robe, and then you go for a walk. You are feeling tired, you are feeling lazy, and then you put on your best robe and you start to walk. Go for a walk. Maybe you can see some children, you can say something sweet to them, you can be kind to them. Just practicing, just to walk, because we think in our mind, oh, I know what's going to happen. I know what's outside. I know that everything is going to be lazy and boredom. This is my way of life. So we put on our robe and then we go for a walk. Just walking, being aware, being present. Maybe someone out there could use your help. So put on your robe, go for a walk, and you will see what happens. That's a good way to deal with it. Then you can have some physical health and also a mental health, because you're really experiencing your local environment, getting some fresh air.
Okay, thank you for your guiding. Um, this comment from Daniel Erdman once again. Identify emotion as inferences that may disturb your focus. Accordingly, you decide how to handle them, to follow them or uh, to let them proceed on their path. I'm sorry, maybe I read very
Wonderful.
slowly.
Thank you, Daniel, for sharing that.
Oh, that's a sharing. Okay.
Just a sharing about they what they feel about it.
Okay, okay. um, another question from Mika. Attaching attaching to detachment is a rough thing.
So if you notice a rough thing, you should be gentle, very loving, very soft, very sweet. Because those rough things, that's why they are rough, because they need some gentleness, some sweetness. So try to find a way to be loving, to be sweet to that rough experience, that rough person, that rough novice monk running around making problems. Try to be gentle to that rough thing. We are attaching to detachment. That's only attachment. That's not detachment. So coming back to the breath, relaxing, gentle, open awareness. We do our best. We try again, not to become detached. We have to live it moment by moment, breath by breath, doing our best, taking care of ourselves. It's not that we practice meditation and then we become super enlightened and then we're running around uh, hitting everyone over the head with enlightenment, or that people who are a meditation teacher or a monk, that all the time they wake up at 3 a.m. and they are loving kindness everywhere, and then they are meditating for 2 hours and they're happy all the time, and then they etc. It's not like that. We are human beings going through a human life. The first noble truth in Buddhism is that there is suffering, there is a dukkha, there is dissatisfaction in life. Sometimes we have a very pleasurable experience. Wow, so nice. Sometimes we have a very unpleasant experience. It really doesn't feel good. We feel upset. Sometimes we feel boredom. This is the suffering, the dukkha, the dissatisfaction. So when we notice, when we become aware of that rough thing, that's when we bring out our gentle mind, our meditative mind, our present moment mind, and we do our best. That's what these robes represent. Not to be a super enlightened person, but to be trying to do our best, to follow the Buddha, to practice a sila, moment to moment.
Okay, thank you so much for your explanation, Pante. Okay, hello to Ajahn Somduan. Okay, and hello to Novice Somsak. Okay, so all the comments are uh, very valuable. Okay, that you give the give the compliments to the Facebook Live, and also help each other, to spread the teaching and knowledge about meditation. All right. This question, another question from Japa, once again, also very interesting to discuss. Uh-huh. Do you kill human if someone makes you badly angry, or blind them instead of killing? Do you have a self defense or offense? This is also one of the question that many foreigners try to ask monk, because uh, we have to train and develop our loving kindness. We have to share love to all the people, but in some situation that and out of control, that someone attract you. So in this case, uh, how is Buddhist monk react? Okay, Pante Varapanyo, what is your point of view?
Well, the point of view is that in a Buddhist morality, in a Buddhist ethics, we're focused on a moment to moment dealing with situations from a heart of. So we start with a loving kindness towards ourselves, and we actually work on developing this feeling, this energy of loving kindness, of gentleness, of patience, of compassion. So if someone makes us badly angry, our first thought is not to kill them, but to remember. When we feel anger, then we remember loving kindness, present moment loving kindness. Figure out a difficult situation. How do I take care of this situation using the best of my abilities as a human being? Not some absolute morality or some simple answer. No, there's not a simple answer. That's why we really have to work to develop loving kindness, to be strong in loving kindness. So when anger comes up, we feel angry. Oh, I'm so angry. I want to kill that person. I want to throw them off. But then we remember loving kindness, even though we are angry. So that can help us balance and calm down and be reasonable. When people act from extreme anger, it usually causes more and more suffering, more and more problems. It's not a solution most times. Um, so we do our best at that moment. That's what we do as a Buddhist, a follower of the Buddha teaching. That's how we will react to those situations, moment to moment. There is not an absolute answer. So in Buddhism, we don't have a sin. There is no sin for a Buddhist monk. There is no sin for a Buddhist person. The Buddha practiced compassion and loving kindness for everyone. The teachings that he gave are about from my experience, this is the way to live skillfully. From the Buddha's experience, he teach that killing people is not skillful. You should not kill people. I don't recommend that, the Buddha say. But if you kill someone, um, you kill someone. That's a real situation. Not gods and devils cannot help you if you are killing someone. So coming back to the present moment, coming back to the body, the breath, uh, this moment, your life right now, how can you be? How can you act in a way to be kind?
Okay, very nice. All right, in order to move on, okay, to many different question. Okay, I might skip some comments in order to go faster. I'm not sure that it is a question or not, but that's very long writing from Miga. Would you please, Venerable Prarapanyo, read this out loud, please?
Good approaches. This is from Micah Church commenting. Good approaches to a layman, starting approach to metta like Thich Nhat Hanh's No Mud, No Lotus is wonderful for me, but I mean more like chanting and phrases or books that help along the methods. I often don't know how to approach it, and sometimes I know what to say, so perhaps more books like that would help, but also some specifics on the metta practice as well. So Micah, the book that I would really recommend is Loving Kindness in Plain English by Bhante Gunaratana. That's a very, very good book on developing kindness, the words, the phrases, the skills, the approach, everything. So that's Loving Kindness in Plain English by Bhante Gunaratana.
Okay. I'm searching, different question that we have to put in the group to discuss about, because there are also many different questions. Many thanks to different monks, different people to send your question. So for those who already asked, I also might skip until maybe we don't have another question from other anymore. Okay, let's answer this question for uh, Dhamma Clown. Okay, here's a first comment. So we go to this comment first. How does meditators practice in breathing to develop 7 enlightenment factor? All right.
I leave this one to you, Bhante.
I'm not sure the 7 enlightenment factors.
Right.
Well, if we focus on practicing in breathing, okay. Um, Also, Bhante Varapanyo have several guiding to people in different Facebook Live. So simply we have to go step by step. First you have to only know your breathing in and breathing out. Next step, maybe you focus closer, to this is long or short breathing in or breathing out, in order to uh, develop your concentration sharper and sharper. After you um, have acknowledging, is it long or short breathing in or breathing out, you know uh, also know that this is only the natural phenomena that arise every single minute of your life. You're breathing in and breathing out, it happen like naturally. Let it naturally, after you your mind have developed to some certain point. So this is my guiding, that we have to go step by step in order to develop, to attain or obtain different level of concentration, like momently concentration, okay, kanika samadhi, okay, assessment or accessed concentration, and attainment concentration, that's higher concentration. um, Maybe Veredo Varapanyo will add, have a additional explanation to this.
So it really takes your investment. Keep coming back to your meditation. Keep coming back to that direct moment-to-moment practice, that direct experiencing. And the more you invest, the more you incorporate your sincerity and your care into your practice, then it will naturally develop over time, more and more.
All right. Thank you. Okay, thank you to all venerables. Venerable Kanti, he acknowledged Mr. Kiat. He suggests his student to able to speak English like this soon. Okay, very nice to give the comments. Okay, there are many different questions. I try to get through and read some, from Ben Chuck. Okay, maybe he write for the Mika. And okay, I will move on. Okay, shall we move back to this question from Lindong Chapa? Okay, do you make impossible things like supernatural powers, like Jesus in Christianity? Christianity resurrects dead and heal the sick. Okay, so maybe this might concern to the story of the Jesus. Venerable Varapanyo, okay, how this going on in that supernatural power?
No, is the answer to Lyndon Japa's question. No.
Okay. Okay, so many thanks to all the comments. So maybe I cannot get through all the comments. So right now we have been live streaming this Monkchat Dhamma discussion. So once again, for those who just come and watch this Facebook Live your first time, you can note that this will happen, or we will have an appointment to have this event every Wednesday, and especially I will have like a special Dhamma discussion to Venerable Varapanyo. So as you have seen that we will have several questions from the audience, but if it's better that you can ask a question that concern to what our topic have been set up. It's concerned to the meditation practice, which is will be the wonderful question to we will learn together. It's like a good community that we share different issues together. Monks and help. Monks can help the beginner meditators that you practice alone, or you just experience some retreat. So you can show up in this Facebook Live and can share different questions together. I think this is what our intention to set up or organize this Facebook Live. So, anyways, we have several questions left. After we finish this, okay, I also would like to say to everyone that we have to finish this Facebook Live around now is 9:20. It will be around 9:30 or 9:40. Based on the question. If there are some question that we have left, okay, we will move on to the next week. Okay, so okay, in actually all the question also concern to what we have discussed earlier. So you can go back after we have finished this, scroll back and reason it again, so you can get a lot of things what we have discussed today. This very good and nice question that everyone have been send and ask monks today. So I'm really sorry that we cannot answer all the questions. So we will discuss more next week because we have very limited time. So finally, I would like to invite another Venerable Varapanyo to give a last speech, at least to remind everybody to have mindfulness, about living life and concern to their living life as well. Yes.
Thank you, Bante. So, whatever the situation is that we find ourselves in, we can bring this energy, this intention of loving kindness to it. Now, loving kindness, metta, as we call it in this sense, is passivity. It's not a failure to act. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's choosing to engage again and again and again in a way that we feel reduces suffering. Not perfectly, not absolutely, but in a way that we feel reduces, in some sense, suffering in ourselves, firstly, and also towards the world, to others. And when we begin to practice this regularly, we can live a more skillful life. We can happiness. We can find that those times of peace and relaxation grow and grow more and more. We can establish ourselves naturally in the here and the now through awareness of our breathing, moment to moment, whatever happens to be happening. Okay. So I want to thank
Okay.
Venerable for having me here and joining in the monk chat. And I want to thank all of our viewers for joining and participating in this community event.
Thank you. Thank you. So I wish everyone we have a wonderful day. Some might evening or morning or during the day, different time zone. We wish you have a wonderful life. Okay, success in your life. So uh, we will finish this Facebook live uh, now. Thank you. You all. Good luck. Take care of yourself.